After a tough loss at home to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Toronto Argonauts will try to move past it as they host the Edmonton Eskimos. If there was a game the Toronto Argonauts would want to put in the rear-view mirror, it was last week's game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Argos offense struggled as Winnipeg picked off Logan Kilgore 5 times in his second start in the CFL. In addition, the defense had no answer to Clarence Denmark, who had 7 receptions for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns, or Andrew Harris, who added 123 yards and a score on the ground. Now the team will hope to make the proper adjustments as they look to rebound against the Edmonton Eskimos, the reigning Grey Cup champions. It was not all bad news for the Argonauts, as Deontay Spencer played in his first game of the season. The 24-year-old was seen as the replacement for Chad Owens, who signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the off-season, and he finished with 11 receptions for 146 yards and a touchdown. Even with a breakout game from Spencer, the Argos offense was missing their big-bodied receivers in Kieran Elliott, Tyree Gurley and Vital Hazelton. The Bombers did a good job in cutting off the passing routes for the double blue receivers, and the aggressive approach led to the high number of interceptions. What will be important for the Argos against Edmonton is keeping Darrell Walker and Darius Bowman in check. They were the top 2 in CFL receiving yards entering Week 9, with 800 and 789 yards respectively. In addition, quarterback Mike Riley currently leads the CFL with 2,481 passing yards. Talking with Don Landry of Argonauts.ca, Ken Raymond understands the defense will face its toughest challenge of the season. Talking about covering Walker and Bowman, Raymond said, "Those guys play hand in hand together and they play off each other. So we've definitely got to make sure we come ready to work against numbers 87 Walker and for Bowman. On offense, this could be the last start for Kilgore." The Boatmen are expecting Ricky Ray back for their next game against the BC Lions. Luckily for Toronto, Vital Hazelton and Kieran Elliott will be back against the Eskimos, giving their field general more options when he throws the ball downfield. They tried to use the speed of Spencer and Kenny Shaw, but having the big bodies of Hazelton and Elliott will be vital to giving Kilgore more confidence that his receivers can fight for the ball. What the Argos defense will need to do is try to force turnovers and eliminate the big plays. This is something cornerback A.J. Jefferson spoke about with reporters at practice. Jefferson said, "We're not going to change anything we do. We just have to keep on those guys and know where they are at all times and communicate across the board. If there's pressure up front and we're forcing the quarterback to make bad throws, we should come up with some turnovers." Toronto 4-3 holds the better record over Edmonton 3-4, although the Eskimos have scored 193 points, compared to 174 by the Argonauts. This game could come down to the talent on offense, which will probably favor the visitors. However, if the Argos can make use of one-on-one coverage and their depth at receiver, it could give them the advantage. Forcing turnovers will also be crucial, because it has been a key element of the Toronto defense. The running game has not worked out well for the Argos so far this season. However, they will need to be more patient with it, especially if Kilgore struggles. Argos notes Ray was taken off the 6-game injury reserve, which means he will likely return against the Lions. Elliott will play his first game since Week 1, after a late hit against Hamilton forced the receiver to miss time with a dislocated shoulder. Gurley is not expected to return for another few weeks. Defensive end Michael Buckman and defensive lineman Brian Buckle were relieved by the Argos this week. Corey Greenwood will miss time with a knee injury, but was able to avoid surgery. The linebacker is expected to miss 8 weeks. Darrell Walker, the second-year defensive tackle, and Cam Walker are expected to return to the team, which should provide more depth up front on the defensive side of the ball.